Most projects start with an idea. This idea builds and turns into a story, creates a world, characters, plot. One aspect that drags me into projects is concept, the basis of a story, bits and pieces that give intrigue into the players or where they travel. Ideas that feed into the greater themes and push characters along. The hard shell's concept isn't what piqued my interest. It was the concept of demon foals. The name of these creatures may sound brash, but it does give an apt description of what they are. Demon foals are the amalgamation of sorrow formed when a child first experiences grief after receiving their cutie mark. They take the form of a shadow of the child and remain in a perpetual state of grief, living within that horrid moment, surrounded by it, until consoled. This can be seen when Rainbow travels through the cave they reside and finds her friends' foals trapped in their perpetual limbo. What makes this concept so interesting is how these foals represent one's inner demons, and not simply their demons, but the demons formed when they were young.
It's nice to hear, I guess. If my parents were here, they'd be nice to see you. What happened to your parents?
How are your studies?
I'm sorry. I'm trying my best to practice, I really am. But I seem to be getting worse and worse at it every single time.
The exam is in 2 days. If you are not able to pass the subject, I will have to give you an F on it.
But, Princess Celestia, I don't want to fail.
Then make sure you practice, or you can also forget about being my pupil.
When you're young, you're not developed enough to handle pain or emotions as well as an adult. Where a grown adult is able to better process the stages of grief when a loved one dies, be it because they went through it before, have a better understanding of the world, or have matured enough to do so, it's far more difficult for a child to understand the concept or accept death. How failure can have a harder sting when you've never dealt with the feeling of self-blame when losing a pet or facing peer pressure reinforced previously by disapproving parents. These moments can leave an impact, especially if they were never properly dealt with. Sometimes they can be held onto, remain as a reminder even after growing into adulthood, as they are never let go.
That quote you mentioned before? That was Cheese Sandwich. He was inspired by you. He was? He was. And you are the best party pony I know. That's so nice of you to say. And I won't give up. Not just yet. I'm the Sapphire Heartless. Now that's good. Congrats! You have found all 5 of the gems. Good luck on your journey. Yay!
This concept works wonderfully with the world, story, and characters in the Heart Shell. The story is about Rainbow Dash coming to terms with Tank's hibernation, a representation of death, and the past she clings to, of which she must learn to overcome. Overall, the theme is not getting hung up on the past, as represented by the main 6 and their demon foals. Rainbow is the focus of this story. She needs to come to terms with her past, and so do her friends in some part. Unlike them, she is the one who faces the greater personal struggle. During her quest, Rainbow helps the demon foals within the cave in overcoming their grief from past mistakes or unfortunate instances, all of which they must come to terms with. This also applies to Rainbow's friends, who follow in their demon steps and move on from the past they cling to. In doing so, Rainbow is given a gem which must be used to stop the villain's plan, save her dying pet, and face her own past, the death of her grandmother.
But that means I'll never see you again.
I know, but it has to be done, I'm afraid. There's no other way to save you.
sure gonna miss you. You were an awesome friend, Blue.
It's okay. I won't leave.
Blue Streak, you Grandma?
Tank's hibernation was more than losing her pet for the winter. It called back to the pain she felt when she was younger, the loss of her grandmother. Her grandmother, Blue Streak, meant the world to her. Not only did she see her as a beloved member of her family, but she was a former Wonderbolt, giving them more of a connection with Rainbow's dream of becoming a Wonderbolt. Her death was sudden and happened on her birthday, Rainbow discovering her lifeless body sitting in her armchair. Not only did she have to deal with the loss of her grandmother, but the trauma of seeing the body. Loss is something Rainbow was never able to come to grips with, never having a chance for a proper goodbye, and happening so suddenly, when there was so much they never got to do or conversations they may have had. Rainbow isn't the best when dealing with hard personal situations. She works best with physical problems, hence why personifying her past to the Demon Foals while also using Tank's death as a means of forcing her to face her past was perfect for her. Along with Tank, seeing her grandmother and spending some time with her also helped in Rainbow's development, as she's finally able to receive some sort of closure while having to let go to save Equestria, completing her arc. The concept of Demon Foals helped to not only allow Rainbow to grow as a character, but relates back to the themes of dealing with grief and coming to terms with the past. There are some things that stay with you no matter how you grow, a part of our past that we sometimes hang on to, be it because we never receive closure or not wanting to repeat past mistakes. Manifesting this idea as little shadows representing the first moment of strong grief brings a lot of intrigue while fitting well into the world and story. It also works well with the protagonist, since pairing this concept with a character who learns through doing is a perfect combination and gives weight to the story, highlighting its themes wonderfully. Altogether, the concept serves as a strong means of delivering the message and building character for the drama itself.
Caves. I also wrote a song especially for you. Little Dashy, please do not cry now. I will always be by your side now. If the weather starts to get too cold now, I'll never leave you alone.
Wait! Don't go! I still want to spend time with you! I never got the chance to say goodbye to you!
Don't worry about it. As long as you have that locket around your neck, you will always remember it. It also carries the power you need to defeat Templar. I couldn't be more proud of you, my little Dasher.